today's personal training session. Today's session we're going to be using a skipping rope and 2 sets of hand weights and a mat. We're going to do a total body workout. We're going to use our devices to set it for a 30-minute program. So within this workout we want to make sure that we're nice, fit, healthy and well. There are options for each exercise to make sure you work within your own level of intensity and making sure that we keep everything nice and strong and safe. And I'll be ready to go to you. So first of all, we're going to set our watches for a high intensity workout for 30 minutes. Right team, we're going to grab a skipping rope. If you don't have a skipping rope, that's okay. You can pretend to skip without a skipping rope. So any skipping rope will do. And with the skipping rope, you're going to pretend to do that if you don't have an actual rope itself. If you have a rope, then obviously by all means, grab yourself a rope. Make sure if you're going to do this inside, that you have no light fittings or anything that you're not going to actually catch yourself on the rope. So it's a nice skipping, and as you can see, it's very easy to get tangled up if you're not used to working inside with the skipping rope. So keep it nice and light on your feet. Turn us through, nice and tight. Keep that one, nice gap between the chin and the chest. So we're skipping a little bit, we'll pop it up quite quickly and then bring it down. Nice and light, again, keep it with those feet, right and left. We'll keep that chest nice and lifted, turn us through, nice and tight. And catch your foot again, it's quite easy to do, not a problem. Even the best can get caught up in the skipping rope. Keep it nice and light. Weights come to the sides, keep that width across that body. As you can tell, skipping is really quick and gets you out of breath quite quickly, so really good to get that hurry up and burn those calories. So, we're going to take that nice big squat down, keeping that gap between the chin and the chest. So we're going to keep that width across that body, sending that bottom to the back. I'm just going to turn sideways, and we'll keep that width through the shoulders, toe muscles staying super tight, and we're going to lift up nice and tall. Remember to breathe. So you want to make sure you're not going to bash into anything, so no bits of furniture. You can be done with a kettlebell. If you don't have a heavier set of hand weights and you have a heavier kettlebell, that is absolutely fine. Let's get that width across that body. Toe muscles stay nice and tight. And we want to make sure we've got plenty of ventilation in our room. So if you're doing it outside, fantastic. Go make sure you have water. If you're doing it inside, make sure you've got plenty of space to make sure you're not going to bash your body parts into anything, and also make sure it's well ventilated. And we've got another 3 to go. 2 and 1. Brilliant. So it's facing the front form. We're going to have those feet nice and parallel. Open up through those shoulders. We're going to do that single bicep curl. Again, if you can do it with a heavier hand weight, fantastic. So at the moment I'm working with a set of 4 kilogram dumbbells. So 4s or 3s are good for this exercise, and I get right into those bicep curls for me. Keeping that width across that body, keeping that gap between the chin and the chest. So we want to keep that spine as tall as we can, maintaining that nice neutral spine, neutral position. So ribs are over pelvis, I'm going to keep that length through that body, and not overlocking out through those knees. I'm going to keep that width across that body for me, lovely. Get that gap between the chin and the chest. Head is nice and tall. Again, we want to keep this heart rate up. So we want to be slightly breathless at most stages of the workout, so that's a good thing. We want to keep it nice and aerobic, fat burning. Lovely. I've got 1 more repetition. Now we're going to go straight back into our squats with our weights either side. So feet are parallel. I'm going to stick at the front with you. We're going to squat down and draw it all out. Lift up nice and tall. Focus on keep those toe muscles in. Power through the legs and the bottom. Let's keep that gap between the chin and the chest for me. Keep that nice and lifted. Chest is open. Head is nice and tall. So we want to feel it through those legs. Keeping that length through that body. And let's keep that gap between the chin and the chest for me. to go. This is number 5. Dig it deep. 4. Keep it strong. 3. 2. And last one. So we're going to go straight back into those alternate bicep curls. We're going to squeeze up. So we're going to work through the front of those arms. Keep those shoulders nice and open. Let's get that width across that body for me. And keeping that gap between the ears and those shoulders for me. Keep that chest lifted. Toe muscles are in. That's it. Lovely. So remember, we're working out in warmer weather. Make sure you've got plenty of water available. That also applies to cold weather as well. Okay, it's just easier to drink water when it's warmer, that's all. Let's keep that chest nice and open for me. Tummy muscles are in. Keep those knees gently softened. Remember, any time you're doing this workout, you always keep working through a pain-free range of motion. So any backs, knees and hips, you just work to what is comfortable. And if it's not comfortable, then just don't do it. It's as simple as that. Always remember to work within your body's limits. If the second set of the session is too much, then obviously just stick with the first one. Have a little rest. Now we've got one more on each side to go, team, and then we're going to go back to some skipping. Brilliant. So we're going to pop those weights down nice and carefully. At the same time, grab yourself a quick drink. So again, make sure you've got water. It's super important. Got a small slurp. Find that skipping rope. Remember, if you don't have a skipping rope, it's not a problem. You can air skip. Sometimes air skipping is a lot easier, to be honest. But there we go. So let's give it a go. Off we go. So turn off the nice and tight. So you can do a single leg, or you can do that double hands. Choice what you do. There we go. Okay, just watch out for the mats. Follow to shield your heads. Keep that head rest nice and lifted, nice and light. You're going to try and flick your hair out the way it always goes wrong. Off we go. Would be ideal. Catch that heart rate back. Catch your breath back. Nice big deep breaths. Right, we're going to focus on the shoulders now, team. So, hands are going to come in. We want those feet shoulder width apart. We're going to take those arms out to the side and down. So I'm just going to show you to the side for you. We're going to come out and down. Catch that breath back. So we want to keep that gap between the chin and the chest. Keep that length through that body. Keep that gap between the chin and the chest for me. So we're working into those shoulders. So strengthening the shoulders, shaping the shoulders. So again, you want to make sure you're not doing it with too heavier weights. And then leaning too far into your heels and pressing into your back. So we want to keep that body nice and upright. And we have one more repetition. Brilliant. Give those arms and those legs a shake. Right, we're now going to come into our single front raise. So I'm going to start at the front, and then I'm going to turn to the side so you can see. So we want to open across those shoulders, so open across those collarbones. We're going to reach the arm up in line with the shoulder, and draw it down. So we want to have those elbows slightly softened and through. I'm going to do one more repetition here. And then I'm going to turn to the side. So keeping that chest nice and open, feet nice and parallel. We're going to reach the arm up in line with the shoulder. Get that gap between the chin and the chest. So we really want to keep that posture as tall as we can, keeping that gap between the ears and the shoulders, and keeping those tummy muscles in as tight as we can to support the spine. Lovely, and we're going to do one more on each side, then I'm going to join you back at the front. I'm going to go back into our lateral raises with 2 hands. So feet nice and parallel, knees are soft, nice neutral spine. Hands come together, we're going to reach the arms out and draw it back down. So again, if the weights you've got are too heavy and you have a pair of water bottles equal size, okay, you may use water bottles, okay? That is absolutely fine. Or failing that, you can use your fists. With shoulders, it's always a good idea to use lighter weight and have the control and the technique of the exercise. And one more repetition. Beautiful. So let's come to that slightly diagonal position. Feet are nice and parallel, chest is lifted. We're going to reach the arm up and down. Keeping that chest nice and open. We want to keep that head and that neck as long as we can, and we're working into those shoulders. So again, keeping that length through that body, and keeping that gap between the chin and the chest for me. That's it, fabulous. We're going to keep those shoulders nice and open. And we have 2 more repetitions. And 1 more repetition on each side. Fantastic. Right, we're going to put those weights down. Grab yourself a big slurp of water. And then we're going to go back to our skipping. So again, just make sure we've got plenty of space. Make sure that skipping rope is nice and tangle free. Alright, so again, we're going to keep this heart rate up, we're going to keep that heart rate so we're slightly breathless at all times. Off we go. The more skipping you do, the easier it becomes. Again, just a different way of doing cardiovascular work. So we're doing single arm. So the non-working arm is going to rest on the thigh, just with the palm of your hand resting just above the knee. We want to keep those shoulders nice and still, nice and stable. We're going to squeeze it back into the backs of those arms. Remember to breathe. So try and breathe out on the effort. Brilliant. Now we're going to lift up nice and tall. We'll do exactly the same on the other side. So feet are nice and parallel, weight comes down. We're going to slide it down. Squeeze the elbow in, extend it back, in and down. So we want to keep those toe muscles in nice and tight. So we've got our back working. We've got our triceps, backs of those arms. Keeping that width across that body. And keeping those toe muscles in, nice and tight. And we have 2 more repetitions today. And 1 more. Brilliant. Lift it up nice and tall. So we're going to stick with that heavier hand weight. We're now going to take those feet nice and wide apart, so good shoulder width apart. We're going to take those toes to a turn-out position. We're going to hold that weight, okay, so the head of the weight, so the widest part. So you can use a kettlebell for this if you prefer. We're going to sink it down, go 1, 2 pulses, draw it up. So we can get those inside thighs firing up. So plie squat, 1, 2 pulses, zip it all the way up, keeping that back nice and straight. So we want to sink down, 1, 2, and draw it up. And down for 1, 2, and up, and down, 1, 2, lift it up, and down, 1, 2, and rise, and down, 1, 2, and up, and down, 1, 2, and lift, and take it down, 1, 2, and rise. Remember to breathe. So you're really thinking about keeping that weight transference between the right and the left nice and easily. So it's nice and equally transferred. Zipping up nice and equally through the right side and the left side. Keeping those toe muscles in nice and tight. And we have 4 left to go. And 3. 2. And 1. Brilliant. So now those feet nice and parallel again. We're going to do that bent over right into tricep kickbacks. So that nice big hinge forward, contract the abdominals, squeeze the elbow in, lengthen the arm back. You can only take your arm back as your elbow bends. So we don't want to get any swinging action through the action of the tricep. Keeping that gap between the chin and the chest. And 1 more repetition. Brilliant. I'm going to lift it up. I'm going to switch the sides over. So feet nice and parallel. So we're going to take a nice big hinge. Squeeze the elbow in, extend back, in and down. So again, we've got back. We have triceps working. We have shoulders stabilising. Toe muscles stabilising. Keeping that gap between the chin and the chest. And last repetition. Brilliant. So we're going to come up. We're going to go into that nice plie squat with our pulse. So feet nice shoulder width apart. You may need to take them a little bit wider. Keeping those shoulders nice and open. I'm going to come halfway down. 1, 2, zip it up and down. 1, 2, zip it up and down. 1, 2. Really connect through your inside thighs. Keep those toe muscles nice and engaged. Again, if you want to do it with a heavier weight, by all means you can, if you've got a heavier weight at hand, grab a heavier weight, or do it with a kettlebell. But we want to keep those shoulders so they're nice and open. We don't want to round through. We want to keep that back as straight as we can. Then we'll focus on our good posture. Lovely. Let's keep that chest lifted for me. Keeping that weight transfer through the right and left side nice and equal. ourselves a drink. Really important to stay hydrated. And just keep an eye on the time. So we'll do another round of skipping. So again, make sure you've got plenty of space. Again, we get this heart rate up. We keep that gap between the chin and the chest. And off we go. Get that rhythm going. Again, we're going to encourage and that heart rate up. Remember to breathe. And get yourself timed up. These are my rhythm now. That's it, lovely. Keep it nice and open. It's always good, a good slap on the shins. Much more fun. Right team, keep it strong for me. Nice and light. Lovely, keep it nice and strong for me. It's going to stay nice and tight. And we have the 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Put that skipping rope out of the way. Oh, completely tangled over there. Beautiful. Right, we're going to kneel down mat now. So grab yourselves a mat. Catch that breath up. Right, so it's really important now to make sure you've got plenty of space. Okay, you can work nice and free. Now, let's adjust those hairbands if we need to. We're going to have those feet nice and parallel. We're going to have that nice neutral spine, so the pubic bone to round up to nice and level. Keep that rib cage over the pelvis. We're going to start with a simple single leg tabletop position. So we're going to breathe out. We're going to float that knee up so it's in line with the hip. And we're going to float it down. And we're going to float it up and down. And we're going to draw it up and down. So we are going to layer these in step by step. So we want to make sure you've got a nice natural curve in that lower back. Floating that knee up and down. Keeping that width across that body for me. Now, if you're happy with this level, you may progress to the next level. So we're going to take that knee up, we're going to float that knee up, and bring it down and down. So you want to put those hands across your tummy. We want to keep that width across those shoulders, and we want to keep those tummy muscles drawing in as we lift and as we lower through that legs to fire up those abdominals. So we're going to keep that width across that body, keeping that gap between the chin and the chest. Keeping that space between the ears and shoulders. So we're going to keep that width across that body. Let's get those tummy muscles in nice and tight. Now, if we're happy with this movement pattern, we're going to challenge it by adding lever length. Okay, so we're going to do it on the next repetition. So we're going to bring that leg up and up. Now, when I take that leg out, you work with the range of motion that is pain-free for that lower back. So the higher you take that leg, the easier it is on the back. The lower down you take that leg, the harder it is. If you take it all the way down to the ground, that will put much more pressure onto the back. If you don't have the strength in your abdominals and your back, and then down, and then down. So we're going to draw it up and up, lengthen away, pull back in, lengthen away, pull back in, and we're going to draw it down and down. So we're going to keep those abdominals nice and connected. Place your hands across your tummy to make sure you're not popping up. Okay, so we want to make sure those abdominals are staying connected, and by having your hands across your tummy, it allows you to feel if they're popping up and don't move. So we're going to keep that width across those shoulders, keep that body nice and long, nice and lengthened. And keeping that gap between the chin and the chest. I'm just doing a quick time check just to make sure we're on time so that we can stretch. So it's always good when you're working out to do a good stretch at the end. And we're going to do just one more repetition on each side. Brilliant, and then down and down. So with your right leg, we're going to take that right leg up in the air. We're going to press that heel up to the ceiling, make that knee gently soften, and draw that knee in towards the chest. And then bring that knee in and down, and then bring that knee up, straighten up that leg. Brilliant. Now we're going to bring that knee in, we're going to roll it up, come around to the front. So we're going to soles those feet together, sliding those heels in, so we get that nicely stretch those inside thighs. So again, just work with the painful range of motion, and again, don't put any pressure on your knees, just let the weight of your legs drop down to open up through the hip and through the inner thigh. Brilliant, team. So we're going to take that leg out in front, we're going to take that leg over the top for me. We're going to swing that leg round if you can. If you can't, just keep that leg nice and straight. And we'll give that knee a nice big curl. So again, that stretch coming around into our bottom. Beautiful. And then we're going to untangle ourselves. I'm going to switch it over. I'm going to bring that knee in towards the chest. Again, don't worry if your bottom doesn't go down to the floor, that's okay. Again, any tightness around the hip area, just let that body weight sink down. So therefore you get that stretch passively rather than trying to force it down. Beautiful. We're going to come up onto our knees. We're going to have our left foot goes out first of all. So we're going to open up through those hips. We're going to drop that weight forwards, and at the same time just lean back a bit so you increase that stretch through the front of the hip. Again, we don't want to go into extension of that, just lift up nice and tall. And then we're going to switch that leg over, take that leg out in front. We're going to drop that weight forward and then just pull it back, just again get that stretch through the hip flexor at the front. Great. And then we're going to come up to a standing position. We're going to start with stretching out that chest. So we're going to bring those hands behind the body, draw the shoulders back, keep that chest nice and lifted, reach the hands back, look up to the ceiling and get that nice big stretch. Fantastic. Right, we're going to interlock those hands with a nice big interlock. Round through the upper back, get that nice big stretch across their shoulders, keeping those thoracics nice and engaged. Brilliant. So we're going to get that nice big stretch through the shoulder, keep that shoulder drawing down, take the arm across the body and get that gentle stretch on the forearm, just to stretch out the back of those shoulders. Lovely. And then we'll do exactly the same on the other side. Nice big stretch. And I'm going to reach the arm all the way up to the ceiling, bring the hand down, touch the back of the collar, and get that lovely big stretch. And then the other side. Beautiful. Now I'm going to stretch out those quadriceps. If you need to hold on to anything, please do. We'll bring that ankle up to the bottom. And get that stretch in front of those thighs. If you can't get your knees together, that is okay. Do not force it if you're tight in the front of your thigh. Again, as you do more stretching, you start to get a little bit more relaxed, and it'll get a little bit easier to do. And then we'll do exactly the same on the other side. Popping those knees together. If you can, if you can't, don't worry about it. If you need to hold on for balance, rather than worrying about spending the whole time wiggling and woggling, okay? Much better to get these stretched rather than worrying about your balance. Now we're going to stretch out those calf muscles, so that nice big bulky part of the calf. We're going to take that foot behind. Now we're going to drop that weight forwards and very gently just take a hinge forwards. Place those hands on the thighs, or you can put your hands on the hips, whichever you feel more comfortable doing. Again, if you're very tight in the back of the calf and around the Achilles tendon, then please do not force this stretch at all, okay? As you get more flexibility in those muscles, it'll be easier to stretch. Lovely. And I'm going to take a step back, having those feet nice and parallel. We're going to take it all the way down, reach it all the way up for me, and then all the way down and up. And that is your end of your 30-minute personal training session. I hope you enjoyed today's session, and I look forward to seeing you very, very soon. Thank you.